Welcome back. We are on the second part, or the next 50 years, of the 250th anniversary of America. This is the quilt that I have designed to represent that. And right now we're going to be working on the stars. You should have your stripes already done, and you should have your 320 half square triangles done, or at least close to it. As long as you have a few of them so you can get started on your stars, that's always good, but you need to get those done quickly. The triangulations to me seems to be the fastest, easiest way to do that. You'll find the link in my Facebook. I'll make sure I have it on my Facebook page. Um, and I'll try to put a link, or at least put, where you can find it within the video. Also, if you do not have a copy of the pattern, I will make sure I put this, at least this much of the pattern on Etsy, and as the sessions go on, I'll keep adding the next piece as an update to that pattern. So you'll pay for the pattern in full, and each update will give you the next piece. And there's about, I want to say 5 pieces to this. We're going to try and get it done quickly so we can have them ready by the 4th of July. Okay, so let's go to the tabletop. And I'm trying out some new, hang on here, I'm trying out some new stuff. Trying to figure out how, my daughter kept asking me, well, Mom, why don't you fade? Why don't you fade? I'm like, well, I would if I knew what I was doing. So I'm just kind of trying stuff out, trying to figure out what'll work best. All right, so if you look at the tabletop, this is the part we're working on right here. We need to make 20 of these. These will be the top and bottom parts of the star blocks. Okay, so I've already put some pieces together. So I put this part together right here. And then I've actually already put together some of these parts right here. So there's going to be, I think there are 5 different pieces. Yeah, I believe so. So you're going to need 1 2.5 inch square. You're going to need 2 2.5 by 4.5. You're going to need, I'm sorry, not, yeah, 2 for this part too. 2 of the 4.5 by 4.5, and then you're going to need 5 of your half square triangles. And that's what we're going to use to make these. And that's just for each one of these, and you need 20 of these. So whatever we're using, you're 20, I'm sorry, 10. No, yeah, 20. I'm sorry. Ooh, my brain is on meltdown. So just so you're aware, this is a pre-recorded video, and I encourage you to talk amongst yourselves. And let me get me back up here to. Let me get back up here. So, being as it is pre-recorded, you're welcome to talk amongst yourselves. There are other people who are aware of what we're doing, and you can ask questions. They can answer it to the best of their abilities. I'll try to be on, but I'm actually going to be at a baby shower for my up-and-coming grandbaby. I'm so excited. I already got the quilt ready. I got it finished quilting it last night, got the binding on last night. Now, hopefully, when she's born, I'll wait till she's born before we put the label on, so that I can make sure I put her name on it. And I'm really looking forward to that. But I thought I'd wait because, as y'all know, sometimes by the time the baby makes it here, sometimes we've changed the names. I know I did it a couple of times. Sometimes I was very sure about the name, and sometimes when the baby got here, it just didn't seem like the name fit, and she wound up with a different name, or he. But not in my case. My husband was adamant he wanted to call my son. And I think I hit a button I probably shouldn't have hit. That's all right. Hopefully it didn't turn anything off. But I have my hand on my microphone. So hopefully it's working. I'll find out. It is working on here, so hopefully it's working there. All right, so as you can see behind me, we have the stars on one side, we have the stripes on the other side, and I will include the HQF file for the lettering in this as well, if I can fit it in there. Sometimes those files are really large, so if I can fit it in there, I will make sure it gets fit in there. So you can hand that off to your quilter, and see if they, will put it on for you. It's a little bit of work, wiggling and moving, and you know, they may or may not want to go through all that hassle. Now, I put the lettering on before I actually quilted the quilt so that the lettering didn't come through the back. And then when I do the actual quilting, it will quilt right over the top of the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to text me or comment or whatever, if you have a question. I'm always here for you guys. Okay, so let's go back to here. And okay, so here we are. This is what we're going to work on today. First thing we're going to do, what I found was the easiest thing to do is to work on this piece right here and to do as many of these as you need. And the easiest way to do it was to go ahead, and I highly, highly recommend that you do this with it laid out in front of you, with your instructions in front of you. And you see how easy that was to get screwed up. I think I had it like this. And how many of us do that and then realize that we've messed it up? And you don't want to have to tear it out if you don't have to. So just lay it out, take a look at it, bring some pins over, whatever you need to do, so that you know exactly which way that you want to sew it. And use a pin, a clip, or whatever you need to remind you what to do. I try to always make sure I have some kind of representation in front of me, and don't turn them too much so that they don't get turned around on you. And I also try to make sure that they're all fitting, because if they're off a little bit, they can start kind of going in a weird direction. Like maybe they'll start to go up this way instead of going straight across. They'll start to go this way. And so the best thing to do is just, make sure you're lining it up with the next block or the next patch, whatever you want to call that. All right, let's go ahead and take these three. Well, we got three here. Why don't we go ahead and do these two? So this one is up this direction, see, points up here, and this one is down. So this is going to create this little thing right here, right through the center, so that it looks like one smooth path. But you're going to have one point down up here and one down there. And we're going to do it this way. And when you iron, you can iron to the dark side. As you see, I have mine ironed open, but you don't really have to. You can iron to the dark side because there is going to be some nesting, but it's not going to be as much as you think. So if you iron to the dark side, for the most part, you should be golden. One, two, three, four, five. One more. One more. Down like that. Up like that. And there. Okay. And then since we're going that far, why don't we go ahead and do this part right here? So we're going to need two of these. And we'll set one off to the side. And then we're going to need one of these. And this one is pointing down like this. Just like that. So we're going to make sure it's going in the same corner. Now you can chain stitch these, or you can do them all at one time, or one at a time. I want you to do whatever's easiest for you. I'm going to set that off to the side over there. And we're going to grab another one, because we're doing three of these. And again, I'm watching, seeing which way it goes. And I'm also checking, of course, to make sure that the right side of the fabric is up. Right side of fabric is up. I'm watching that it's coming across the top here, which is hopefully going to keep it straight. And I have measured, as I finish sewing, I have measured each piece just to make sure that it is falling in line with the way I want it, the size that I want it to be. Because you remember when these blocks finish out, they finish out at 18.5 inches. So this is 18.5 inches exactly. I measured it, I looked. That's why it's so important to make sure that you're checking your seam allowance on your machine from your needle to the edge. And they even make rulers for that where you can poke the needle through the ruler and it'll show you whether or not you're doing a 1/4 inch seam with where the needle is positioned. Because some of the machines you can actually change how far away the needle is from the edge, which is kind of cool. All right, we've got these ready. We have 3 of each, and of each little section, 3 of this, 3 of this, and 3 of this. So let's come on over here, and I'm coming. Let's come on over here, and we're going to start with this one. And we're going to set this off to the side. I'm going to make sure this is still lining up. Got my pins. I hope everybody's having a great week. I know I'm supposed to be packing right now and getting ready. But, I really am one of those people that tend to wait till the last minute to get everything done. But it really meant a lot to me to get this pre-recorded video ready for you. Okay, we got that done. Now let's go ahead and move on to this next section. And again, I'm just kind of straightening it out just to make sure that everything is straight. Because there's only one needle in there. Sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, that's not supposed to be doing that. And sometimes I pull a needle out and it goes flying. And then I never find it, which is why I won't let my grandchildren back where I sew. Even though they really, really want to come back here, I'm too worried that they're going to get a pin in their foot. I've done that before as a child, and it's kind of traumatizing. If you have any trauma experiences about being a child and getting a pin stuck in your hand or your foot or your leg or an arm or even in your face, God forbid. That's why even with sewing, sometimes I think it's not a bad idea to wear safety glasses. Even if you don't have regular glasses, maybe buy safety glasses and wear those as you're sewing, just to protect your eyes from flying needles and pins and things that fly up at us. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to snip this off, and then I'm going to come back and clip this part off right here. Because what I want to do, oh, nope, I need one more piece. There it is. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and put the other side on. So even though I haven't ironed it, I am going to just use my wood iron to finger press or use my wood iron to press it down so that it stays. And I do love these things. I do have these on for sale in my Etsy shop if they haven't taken it down already, because it's been up for a while. They take those down after a while. They automatically do them for only for so long. And they tell you when they're going to come down. And I think some of mine are going to be coming down in June. All right. Snip, snip, snip. I want to know what kind of thread snips I use. I love my Gingers. These are Ginger thread snips, and I just love them. They're heavy. They feel good in my hand. All right, now on these, I am pressing to the dark side. And remember, don't pull too hard because you don't want to distort that seam. I'm going to use the other half. Come right in here and stitch it down. Press to the dark side. And then press it down. I know when I used to watch, which I still watch her channel, but when I used to watch Donna Jordan doing her sewing, it used to so impress me how beautiful her nails were. And mine, mine they're strong most of the time. Or now I have a few pieces where they broke. Um, but I was just so impressed that they always look so good. And then she could sit there and finger press with that nail all the way down her seams. That was like, I don't know. I was so jealous she could do that. And for me, it was kind of like, nails on a chalkboard, kind of like when I try to do it myself with mine. Okay, let's come on over here. All right, so we have these over here. We're just going to grab our little, yep, here it is right here. Let's go ahead and snip these apart. We're going to set these off to the side just for a minute, just while we iron these other parts. I get this out of the way. We're going to get this out of the way for just a moment. Okay, give it a little press. We're going to bring the iron over here in just a second. I love my small little Aliso iron. It's very handy and it's easy to take to quilt retreats with me. So it tends to go to most of my retreats with me when I go, either if I'm holding them or if I'm going to them. All right. Alrighty, let's see. Oh, figures. I have stuff sitting on it. Here, hang on. Okay. We're going to do some quick ironing here. Okay. That's one. Actually, I found the other day that I actually ironed one in the wrong direction. So when I was putting it down and trying to nest the seams, it was not nesting. I was like, what did I do? What did I do? All right, so let's go ahead and bring in our other pieces. All right, so this one goes over here to this. And again, we want to iron it to the dark side. This one's going to go on this side. Yeah, just making sure that looked awfully dark. And this one goes over here to the dark side. And this one. Okay. This one we're doing this direction. If you want to, if you want someone to tell you which way to go, this is the way you need to go. Okay, so let's go ahead and give these a quick iron. Wiggling the iron, they say it's really not a good idea. Okay. All right, so as you see, we have 3 sets done here and 3 sets done here. So now we're going to bring in 3 of these. Oh, I guess I have 3. Okay, and then we're going to take these back over here and we're going to make sure we have them all turned in the right directions. Oh, let's go ahead and put them down while we're here. Girls, 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 can you go in Mickey's room and play for just a little bit? Then go in the living room and watch TV, okay? But remember, Mimi's doing her video, and I'll have to cut this whole section out because I'm not talking about sewing right now, okay? Okay. So you got to be a little more quiet, okay? Okay, and we're going to do this. And this one. Okay, and then bring it back over here. And this one right here. got my ender. Okay. To the dark side. Okay. And then we're going to take this one with the point up and put it right here. One. Good part about this is no matter which way you turn it, the point's going to be up. I usually recommend that you do at least one of these first, one block first, one full block, before you start, so you can see if you have any parts that you're going to mess up on or that you're having difficulty with. All right, let's get to it. And there we go. Go ahead and grab this one. Okay. And we're going to do these 3 pieces. And it should look like the bottom. Girls, girls. One, two, okay. Our next step is we're going to be joining this section to this section. Here, let me show you. Join this section to this section. Now, if you'll notice, we have the start of a star right here. So let's get to work. See if we can get these finished up today. Just this section though. Okay, and we're going to be able to nest because we have these seams going this way and these seams going this way. And I think all I did was pin the 2 center pieces because there's no nesting here and here. And it did pretty much line up with the outside pieces. figured I was. And I find that if I take a few minutes and pin everything first, and I find that it seems to go a little bit faster. So that's usually what I do. I don't think my grandchildren know the quiet game, but I will tell you they love to play pretend. Makes me feel so good. It seems like so many kids these days have lost the ability to play pretend or to interact with an idea of, well, let's just do this. Let's pretend this. And it really warms my heart because I did that a lot. I always pretended a lot as a child. Here, let's play this. Here, let's play this. Let's pretend to be this. Let's pretend to be doctors. All right, let's get us to the other one. Okay. And make sure that my ends are lined up. And I'm going to come over here and line these ends up. There we go. That's one. Guys, we are almost done. Almost done with this section. Line this part back up again. I feel it flipped over underneath. So I'm going to fix that real quick. And then do this last section. So if you do these all in chain piecing, you'll find this part will go a lot faster. And so we're making 10 stars, which means you're going to need 20 sections of these. As far as how many stars are in this particular flag, it's really just a design choice. There's no hidden significance to how many stars there are in this quilt. It's just designer's choice. Okay. And then our ender. And this. Now let's come on over here. And go here. All right, that looks great. I wonder where my other one is. I have one that's a little bit longer than this. Oh, that may be the really long one. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. So the path of least resistance on this one is these 4.5-inch sections folded up this way. So you're going to fold it to the dark side of the 4.5-inch sections. I tried to iron it the other direction the other day and I got so much resistance from it. Now, if you noticed, I didn't really pay much attention to whether or not I was lining up my points, and they actually did really good. And that just has to do with really good half square triangles, using that 1/4 inch seam allowance and making sure that it is a real 1/4 inch, and then keeping to it. And consistency is so important. And if you've got one you're just really not happy with, you're always welcome to take it out and try it again. That doesn't bother me. I don't think I have an OCD bone in my body. That on there, didn't I? It's starting to get really dark. See, and here would be a good time to steam something. You steam that out, at least most of the time. All right, so here's where your 4.5-inch squares are going to come in handy. You're going to need 2 for each one, so we're going to need 6 for the ones I'm working on right now. There's 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 2, 4, 6. 4, 6. All right, let me get this out of here. And we're going to go ahead and line these up. Okay, we're going to put that up there. We're going to turn the right sides together. Make sure it's lining up good. Okay. Making sure it lines up here and here. And back over to here. All right, so let's go ahead and get these sewn together. Of course, they're going to move, especially if you're only using one pin. So make sure you're watching. This is an excellent way to practice your 1/4-inch seams, to practice your making a consistent seam. These things really turn. We're going to do our ender. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put the other one on. Right sides together. Okay. And that one. Okay. Get our ender. Cut off our leader. Put it away for now. All right, let's get the iron over here. And again, we're going to iron it to the dark side because right now this is the path of least resistance. This one goes here. That's one. Two. And here's our third one. Okay. All right, y'all. Here we go. We now have, well, actually, I have the one from that I showed you earlier. We now have 4 finished. You're going to need 20 of these to make your 10 blocks. But believe it or not, with these done, you are more than halfway through 10 sets of your stars. All right, let's come back up here. Okay, guys, so this concludes this pre-recorded session. We're going to end, of course, in prayer. Um, I know that we have had a few in our guild who I've been made aware of since Sunday that have been not feeling well, family members and so on. So we'll make sure we include all those in our prayers, and make sure you send out praise reports. So if you've got someone who's gotten better, let us know so we can send out a praise report on those that are feeling better. In the meantime, here's the top of the top, which is right here. This is the section that this section right here is the section we just worked on. And as you can see, it's the first part of the star. This is the first part of the star. As you can see, we got one star point here, one star point here, one star point here, and it's going to go around. And we are more than halfway there. They're 18.5 inches long, so these blocks are 18.5 inches, and which makes the stripes also, by the time they're put together, 36 inches wide. The stars, since there are 2 blocks side by side, try it this way, 2 blocks side by side, they are also 36 inches when they're put together. So the quilt itself is about 72 inches wide. And again, you can add you can add borders to make it wider, or wider and longer if you want to go both directions. And it always says you have to have a border all the way around it. It's completely up to you. Remember, designer's choice. All right. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have enjoyed this pre-recorded video, and I hope you've had an opportunity to chat with each other and just talk amongst yourselves. Hopefully I'll be on while this is going on. There's no telling. I mean, it'll be Sunday, and I have plans to go hang out with the kids, and which are no longer kids, they're adults now, and hopefully go to church with them and spend an afternoon just enjoying and soaking up all the love that I can get. I'll take every ounce I can get. In the meantime, let's go ahead and do our prayers. Father, thank you so much for another beautiful day. Thank you for safe passage and safe travels for all of those who are away on this holiday weekend, Father. I just ask you to be with each one of them. Put your guardian angels around every single car, Father. Help everybody make it home safe. Father, I just thank you for all the love and mercy that you have poured out on all the people, on my guild friends, on my guild family, Father, on my children, on my household. Father, I just ask you to keep an eye out, keep those angels surrounding the home, surrounding the cars, surrounding their lives, Father. Help guide them in the way that you want them to go. Father, I just ask each of us to be a light of your love, Father, to show what your love is like. I just thank you for that. And Father, I just ask you to bless each person, heal Heal those right now that are in need of your healing touch, who are in need of your healing touch and your love and your glory, Father. Just I ask you to heal the nation, Father, and keep us together. Keep us as one people. This is a United States of America. United we stand, Father. And we just ask you to help us see the united in these times. Father, I just thank you. I give you all the honor and all the glory. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic week. I will see you next Sunday. Hopefully not pre-recorded. Hopefully it will be live. But we'll see. I want to keep this one going. So you guys have a great day. I appreciate you so much. You have been such a light in my world. And I just thank you for that. And I hope you guys are truly blessed this week. I hope somebody blesses you, and I hope you pay it forward. In Jesus' name, amen. And I love you.